Hello and welcome to Little Learners Education. Today we're going to go step by step through 7 fun observation activities you can do with your child using Oobleck. Activity 1, Stretchy Oobleck. To make Stretchy Oobleck, you will need half a cup of cornflour and 1/8 cup of dishwashing soap. So we're going to observe what happens when we pour the dishwashing soap into the cornflour. Activity 2, Fluffy Oobleck. To make Fluffy Oobleck, you will need half a cup of cornflour and some shaving foam. So we're going to pour the cornflour into the shaving foam. Now we're going to observe what happens when we mix the cornflour with the shaving foam.
Mix it up, Mommy.
Activity 3, Frozen Oobleck. For the frozen Oobleck, you will need half a cup of cornflour, 1/4 cup of water and a silicone mould. So for this, we're going to pour the water into the cornflour and mix it up. And then pour it into your mould. Then it's time to put it into the freezer.
In the freezer.
Oobleck is frozen, it's then time to take it out of the mould. What happens when the frozen Oobleck starts to melt?
It's melting.
Activity 4 is painting with the Oobleck. For the painting with Oobleck activity, you will need half a cup of cornflour for each colour that you are going to use, 1/4 cup of water and food colouring. You will then need a piece of paper and a fork for the painting. The first thing we're going to do is place the water into each of the different food colouring. Then we're going to give it a mix and then pour the coloured water into the cornflour. Mix it up. Then it is time to paint with the Oobleck. Allow it to dry. And once dry, it's time to shake off all of the dried Oobleck. If there are any dry bits left behind, just scrape it off. And there you have your beautiful Oobleck painting. Activity 5 is colour mixing with the Oobleck. For the colour mixing activity, you will need, for each colour you are using, half a cup of cornflour, 1/4 cup of water and food colouring. So we're using the primary colours, red, blue and yellow, and we are going to colour mix the Oobleck to make our secondary colours. So the first thing we're going to do is place the water into each of the different food colouring. Then we're going to give it a mix and then pour the coloured water into the cornflour. Then mix it up.
Mix it up. Look. Ta-da!
Activity 6 is scooping, pouring and filling with the Oobleck. So for this you will need half a cup of cornflour, 1/4 cup of water and food colouring, and then containers and spoons for the scooping and pouring. We've also included a container with holes in it so you can watch the Oobleck drip through. Activity 7 is making the dinosaur swamp and the mud for our small world animals. So for this activity you will need half a cup of corn flour and either cocoa powder or cinnamon and water to create the mud for your small world animals. And we have got half a cup of corn flour, green food colouring and a quarter cup of water to create our green dinosaur swamp. So the first thing we're going to do is put the cocoa powder or cinnamon into the corn flour.
The water. That's water.
And then add the water. And then for our dinosaur swamp, place the water inside the green food colouring and then pour the coloured water into the corn flour. And then give it a mix.